Hi, everyone. Welcome. Happy Memorial Day. Yes, Bentley's laying in my lap right here, so he is with us. um, I'm having tea. He's having tea with me. His cup of water. No, he doesn't get to drink tea. He drinks water. He likes drinking it out of a cup. His favorite thing, drinking it out of a cup, ice cold water. Um, he was taught that when he was a puppy. He can actually drink from a straw. I say that we can take water, put it, how you put water in a straw and you hold it and then you just kind of let it go. He drinks it from the straw like that. So he's been doing that since he was a puppy. Yes, I think my dad trained him to do that. But yes, he is with us, if you're wondering. He just sat up. He knew I was talking about him. But anyways, welcome. Happy Memorial Day. If you're doing anything today, be safe, and also to remember why we are celebrating today. We have take the moment to remember the soldiers who have given their life for us to be able to celebrate what we do, celebrate their life. Get into some real talk here for a minute, so maybe possibly trigger warning, sorry, but one of the reasons I do this, and it means so much, is I had a really, really good friend who was active duty, and he lost his battle to PTSD, and it really affected me in so many ways because he wasn't a person who you would ever thought would do that. And so knowing that you all have the highest rate in the medical field, it really shook me to my core, especially with my husband working in this field and friends who we have that work in this field as well. And you guys do something very important, and take care of little ones. You have the ability, you have the knowledge to take care of these, and it doesn't get appreciated the way it should by some people, or by a lot of people, and people take that for granted. And I think a lot of that is people don't realize what you go through and what you have to go through to be able to do what you do. Especially with veterinarians, people don't realize that it's harder to get into vet school than it is med school. And then what you go through to get in vet school, and then when you come out, you have this student loan debt, and then you're not making what doctors make to even be able to pay off that student loan debt. And it's one of those, it's to some degree it's a niche profession, and you just don't get what you deserve out of it as far as respect and the pay. Now, helping animals and being able to help animals, I know with my husband, it does give him what he wants out of it. It does give him that drive, that desire, but he also comes home with the ones that he wasn't able to. So anyway, with that being said, sorry, don't mean to get so heavy with you guys. We're going to talk about mindful meditation today, or meditation. Okay, don't roll your eyes. Just hear me out. I know a lot of people's like meditation, it helps. I actually listened to a TED Talk years ago about the CEO of a business, like a huge CEO, where he meditated, but he also wouldn't do business with people who didn't meditate because he knew the benefits of meditation. And so, definitely think on that for a minute. Could you imagine being a CEO of a company, and then you had this really great business deal come along, and you found out that CEO did not meditate, and you're like, oh no, I'm not doing business with that person or with that company because they don't meditate. So yes, it does it does help. So we're going to talk about today how you can, the benefits of it, how you can incorporate it into your busy life, because I know you all are so busy. I've had to help my husband with this, and I kind of poke at him a little bit, like, hey, have you meditated some? So meditation, it strengthens the brain's ability to focus by training it to remain in the present moment. The improved focus can enhance work performance and efficiency, reducing the feeling of being constantly overwhelmed. What does that sound like? Does that not sound familiar? Meditation offers several benefits for individuals experiencing or at risk of burnout, including stress reduction, emotional regulation, enhanced focus, and improved well-being. It can help combat the effects of chronic stress and burnout, leading to increased job satisfaction and overall well-being. Let's face it, you all have chronic stress, especially if you've been doing this for a while in this industry. You have chronic stress. If you're stressed, you stress over, I hate to use the word good stress, but sometimes, so my husband's in the ER. You need to have that stress. You do need to have certain stress to drive to be able to take care of the patients, to kind of be on top. And because sometimes in the ER you have multiple patients that are code reds at one time. You have, you're gonna have those situations, and you have to be able, the stress is what pushes you and drives you, that, your adrenaline drives you to be able to take care of those patients, boom, 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 and do what you need to do and provide to them what they need to be provided. But then at the same time, later, it starts wearing on you. The negative stress of, you weren't able to help this patient, or those cases that haunt you. You're gonna have that constantly. So yes, so this kind of helps work on that. You're going to have different things or different practices, things that to be able to help you work on. We'll talk more about those in later videos as well. So a lot of this stuff is going to be combining these things to be able to work on this outside of work. All right. So what can meditation do for you? It can reduce stress and anxiety. It helps with emotional well-being and supports the grief process. It supports the grief process. You all, you have those cases that just rip you apart. I mean, I had those, you still have those cases that haunt you. I mean, I had those cases that ripped me apart when I was in the industry. They're still now when, my husband comes home and talks to me about his cases and need to talk through some of the cases he had seen, has, and everything. It just rips me apart, because I don't like seeing animals suffer. I don't like the situation that my husband had been put in sometimes with those cases of having to treat them. Sometimes it's hard, but it is a profession that you all chose to do. So you have to take the bad with the good, or the ugly with the good. You have to. That's just part of it. So also, it improves focus and concentration, which, when you're going through, you have less brain fog, especially when you're tired. Enhance creativity and problem solving. That definitely comes in when you get those multiple cases, or when you get something that you're just kind of stuck on, like one of those rare cases. So yes, physical health benefits, such as chronic stress, it improves immunity function. So it helps improves the function of your immune system to help you deal with the chronic stress that can eventually lead to other physical health issues. It also helps produce work-life balance, and it may boost energy. You all need more energy, right? It can drain on you. You also need a work-life balance. This is why we're talking about this. It also helps with emotional regulation. That is definitely something that should resonate with you all, especially some of these cases. They can hit you hard. It also helps with sleep improvement. Definitely need that. It helps with self-compassion and empathy. I know a lot of you have self-compassion and empathy, but at some point you start having compassion fatigue, and you need to be able to, work through that. That's what helps, that's what starts your burnout. That's what causes burnout. And so you don't want to lose that, because then at that point it affects you treating these little ones. It also helps you with self-awareness and self-regulation. If you don't believe me, I know you guys like scientific studies. Google meditation and burnout. Mayo Clinic has a scientific study on their website, as well as NIH, the National Institutes of Health. So both of them have scientific studies on their websites that talked about studies that they've done and how it has helped. Okay. So there are many types of meditation. You have your mindful meditation, which is just yourself. You just kind of focus on, you focus on your breathing and in the present moment. You're in the moment. You also have guided meditation, visualization meditation. Find what works for you. Don't get overwhelmed. If you take a deep dive, it can be overwhelming. Just find what works best for you. Some people prefer the guided meditation because it's just easier. Some people, the mindful meditation, you can actually literally, when you wake up first thing in the morning, don't grab your phone, just lay there for 2 minutes and just breathe and focus. Imagine your breath or your air fill up your lungs. When you exhale, going out of your lungs. You do that for 2 minutes, boom, 2-minute meditation for the day. So quick, easy, you can do that. So also, when you exercise, when you're exercising, what are you doing? You're focusing on the present. You're focusing on what you're doing right then. You're focusing when you're focusing on your breathing. You're focusing. That's still meditative. So if you exercise, you're doing a form of meditation. So that may, that could help you as well. Yoga is definitely meditative because you're focusing on your breathing. Or Tai Chi. Tai Chi definitely, if you don't want to do yoga, Tai Chi is a form of martial arts. It helps movement, and you're just because you're there in the present, just focusing. You also have access to Headspace through VEX membership. So if you're a VEX member, utilize Headspace. It's a really good program, really good app that offers meditation. So definitely take advantage of that because, if you don't have VEX membership, then, obviously you can you could subscribe to it. But if you're going to do that, you might as well go ahead and be a VEX member and take advantage of your membership as a VEX or VEX member of other things it has to offer. But outside of that, you also have, like, if you have Audible, Hay House has a meditation app or podcast through Audible. You can also go on Hay House as well. Some of their videos are on there. YouTube has a lot of meditation. There are a lot of things that you can use that are free. So yes, meditation apps. There's also books on meditation. If you're a reader, visual person and much rather read, you have that. So yes, there's a lot of things that you can do. Just meditate. But like I said, even if it's just taking a couple of minutes a day when you first wake up and you're laying in bed, and just focus on your breathing for 2 minutes. Here's actually this book I was listening to on Audible about meditation, and it was the guy was talking about how it's like watching paint dry for 2 minutes, literally. But it is, because it's just, the whole point is being in that moment and clearing your mind and letting your mind just clear. And if any thoughts come in, just let them flow through and flow right out. So yes, but it helps. I always believe it's one of those things that you do and you don't realize how much it helps. And then, like, you're doing it, you don't realize it helps, and then all of a sudden you stop one day, and then it takes you, if you stop and you don't do it, it takes you a little while to realize, like, that's why you're feeling off. That's why these things are happening, because you're not meditating anymore. So I think it's one of those, like, sly things that are things that help on the sly that you don't realize, but it's a huge help. So yes, I definitely recommend it. Like I said, if you're exercising, 2 minutes a day. So it's things that you don't have to take time out to actually do. A lot of it you're probably already doing and don't realize it. I am just here to confirm that you're already doing it for the most part. So with that being said, definitely leave in the comments if there's things that you actually do that help, that's meditative, or any ideas you may have. If there's a source that you use that's really helpful to you, then definitely leave that in the comments. It may help someone else. That's what we want to do here, is provide ideas for everyone to find what works best for them. All right. And until next week, take care, be safe. Don't forget, if you need a peer-to-peer to talk to, you have Lifeboat on NOMV. You have, if you need someone to talk to before 24 hours, before that 24 hours with Lifeboat, you can call 988. I actually saw somewhere you can actually text 988, but I'm not 100% sure. So don't, if you text or whatever and don't get a response, I mean, don't hold me to that, but you can call 988. Also too, you can text home to 741-741. Like I said, if you need to, save those numbers into your phone in case you need them. All right. Take care of yourself. Know you have support. All right. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next week.